This is recording 812. So the name of this specific recording is Listen Next 812. The name of my podcast is Speaking to the CIA. You can find me at speakingtothecia.com or christinastation918.com. You can find me on Podbean, or you can find me on YouTube. So I want to go over more crimes that Gene Roberts committed, and I want to go over more decode with you. Let me go over the crimes first and decode those and turn Gene Roberts in for committing these crimes. United States vehicle carrying explosives crashes into Portland Athletic Club, driver dead. So you already know with the Portland, and then the Athletic Club and the explosives she's probably using. You'd probably have to look more into this. She's probably using TNT, AC/DC. Okay, and then the next crime that Gene Roberts and her Manson occult committed: United States, 5 injured near Phoenix gas station after fight gunshots. 5 people were left injured early Sunday morning in Phoenix after a fight led to gunshots. Authorities said detectives believe shots were fired at Quick Trip located at 29th Avenue and Bell Road. So again, the Bell and some of these people at the top of the Charles Manson occult are Alexander Graham Bell descendants, and they think they own the United States of America. So, and then the 2-9, you can decode all that out, obviously, but, 9 plus 2 is 11, 9/11, and then HB, and then HEB, and then see, there's the HEB, which is a grocery store. So again, she's stalking my ex-husband. Okay, United States, 2 killed, 10 injured in shooting at after party in Amarillo, Texas. 2 people were killed and 10 others injured when gunmen opened fire with rifle-style weapons at an apartment party, so AP, in Amarillo, Texas, according to police. And you guys know Smithtown is underneath Amarillo. You also know Amarillo is yellow in Spanish. And you also know the Yellow Rose of Texas is the United States Marine Corps' one of their songs. And you know that, the color yellow signifies, and roses signifies friendship. So again, she's trying to frame the United States Marine Corps and probably trying to make it look like it's Smithtown doing it. The shooting happened at 1:58 a.m. on Saturday at the Westminster Apartments at 2415 South Coultier Avenue at Coultier Street. She's also using Ann Coultier, who is a blonde woman. She's a blonde reporter who's frequently on Fox News. So anyway, in Amarillo, a city in the Texas Panhandle, police said the victims who died were identified as 17-year-old Ezekiel Rudy Almazan. So then the Alma, and then you see she's using Rudy, the football movie, and then Alma goes. I know just by looking at these headlines, just like I know by my podcast, you're as adept at, like, by listening to me and following along how Gene Roberts goes about committing these crimes. I know just by reading these that Gene Roberts and her Manson occult committed these crimes. United Kingdom, 4 injured in London drive-by shooting. 4 people were taken to the hospital with gunshot wounds after multiple shots were fired from a vehicle in South London, police said on Saturday. Now, South London, okay, so SL. Okay, so one of my ex-husband's favorite songs, it's on my playlist. I love the heck out of it. And I've got it totally, like, I listened to it as he would listen to it, and then I listened to it again, and I have it totally, like, turned against Gene. She has tried to screw with the music video. She's tried spreading lies about it. Now she acts like she owns it. It's by AWOL Nation, and it's called Sail. And I was playing it, And she knew I was playing it, and she started screaming and throwing a fit over it. Like, I could hear her in my brain literally screaming and throwing an effing fit because she wants to get away with buying, abusing, and selling children and making money and committing terrorism. And she wants to be the mother that no one's ever wanted. She's not anybody's mother but Jesse. But she just wants to, she's Ku Klux Klan. She wants to control all my families. And how dare she? She's decided that she wants to use this song for herself. And she just wants to it's hers. And so she committed this terror attack based on revenge. So anyway, again, she's stalking my ex-husband. And again, she's stalking me and my family. One man, 25, is in a life-threatening condition, while 3 others, aged 21, 47, and 70, sustained non-life-threatening wounds following the shooting in Brixton. Okay, so what she's using here with Brixton, so she's using Pink Floyd, obviously. I know you guys got that right away. She's using Toni Braxton, and she's also using Braxton Hicks. Okay, which is when you deliver a baby, well, that's breech. Braxton Hicks has something to do with, maybe it's contractions. It has to do with pregnancy, and Gene Roberts is the leader of Charles Manson. So Toni Braxton sings a song called Breathe Again. And this is when I lived in Slidell. It's one of my favorite songs. I love Toni Braxton. And I had started walking for the Eric Garner family. I had found out that she had killed Eric Garner, and I decoded the heck out of it. And I had started walking, and I was walking for the Eric Garner family and for all civil injustices where there's no resolution because she's running around committing crime, acting like she's getting away with it. So anyway, I'm like, my modus was, let me use what I have. Well, let me do Operation Tupac. And that's what I call Operation Tupac. Like, you start where you're at. What can you do where you're at to make the world a better place? What can you do? Well, my first objective is my family. And then my second and third objective is the United States of America, also the world. I decode crimes that Gene Roberts and her Manson occult committed. They are also Ku Klux Klan. I've got the evidence. So what can I do until I get her turned in? I can keep decoding, keep finding out what crimes she's committed. And what can I do with myself? I can get myself in better physical shape. And what can I do? I can do that for injustices, as you heard in my previous podcast. So he lost his breath to Gene. I still have mine. I'm going to use it every way I can to turn Gene in. So that was my whole goal. So anyway, one day I was at the gym and she put in my brain, she did this to BB, abusing BB and CeCe Winans music also. And I got really pissed. She was talking in my brain and she was trying to antagonize me with BB and CeCe Winans. And I got super, super pissed. She did that with another group too. Anyway, Toni Braxton was another one. And then also note the initials, Toni Braxton's initials TB. But anyway, so she puts in my brain, Toni Braxton, Breathe Again. She's like, you ought to use this, and started being all snarky and snotty. Just a piece of, they're the ones that go, thank you, thank you, thank you. Pretending to be people that they're not. They're just pissed off that you caught them. They're white supremacists. They're Satanists. And they're talking through me right now, but I'm like, I need to like stop letting people like talk through me because they keep trying to steal my identity. But anyway, so And that's what they do. They steal my identity. They pretend to be me. And then they cover their ass. And then they go commit more of the same crime. So anyway, I got super freaking pissed. So she was trying to be like really convincing in my brain. You should use breathe again. And I was like, and Aykroyd was like in my brain, and he likes this two-way like script in my brain. I don't know how to explain it. See, he's like got control of like my brain thought, and I'm like in the middle of exercising, okay, which means my brain and body is already in fatigue mode, and so he's taking advantage of it. So he's like trying to talk back to her, and then he goes, I don't think I want, because I'm like, like I'm trying to exercise, and I'm like, leave me the hell alone. And so anyway, he goes to her, he goes, I don't want to use that. That's not right. And then I'm like, and I didn't know that Aykroyd was bad at the time, but I was like, thank God she left me alone, is all I thought. And I went back to exercising. So anyway, she's trying to white people. That is what she's doing. So she's trying to reprise it. So now she's killed 4 people in London in a drive-by shooting. So anyway, those are the crimes, additional crimes that she committed this week that I want to report. And then, okay, let me do this. So another thing that she did here was, I want to continue on with my last podcast. So someone pointed out to me, which I probably already have this decoded because she uses this everywhere. So the initials, the initials of Alice in Wonderland is AIW, okay? So somebody also pointed out Arnold and Willis are AW, okay? And then someone else pointed out to me, my 6th grade elementary Pomeroy, Gene Roberts was also using Paul McCartney. So Paul McCartney sits inside Pomeroy. Then she also used, which came out around the same time, which is a song I used to love. I used to sing it all the time, Ebony and Ivory. Okay. So what she did there was, in pre-planning to stalk my dad, well, she was already stalking my dad, but I'm saying in pre-planning to arrange a relationship with him. Anyway, so she tries to shut me up. She tries to steal my identity, and then she paints herself as she's painting herself as Ebony, and my dad is Ivory, okay? In the future, I know this because she routes my dad to live in Eden Isles, which is the same initials of Ebony and Ivory. Okay, so Ivory is Tusk, and you want to see all my decoded ciphers, stop talking through me. It is my decoded ciphers. I have been decoding crimes you guys have been committing for 10 years. So anyway, I decoded a couple of pages on Mammoth, the woolly mammoth. And I decoded it all out, and I know that she's using number one, when I was in a relationship with John, we went on a little trip, and I'll never forget it. You've got my podcast on it, because it wasn't relevant then, it's relevant now, but that was going to the Mammoth Caves in Kentucky. Okay, it was the scariest freaking thing in the world. And then I find out years later that she's got people held hostage underground. So I decoded, and then also when we were in Las Vegas, I decoded a bunch about, not like when I lived in Las Vegas, but I'm like going back in time in my memories to when I lived in Las Vegas. And all the stops and all the places we met, and what is the significance of this and what is the significance of that. So anyway, I decoded more on woolly mammoths out there. So Tusk and woolly mammoth and Ivory, she's using that to traffic kids with. Like Ivory is like, oh my gosh. oh my gosh. It's like they're confusing my brain right now between the things that come out of the woolly mammoth and then the green, what is that called? I keep thinking it's the green, but anyway, so she's using that to traffic. And then remember also when I decoded, she said she married Elon Musk too, and you can see Elon Musk's name in there. And remember when I told you Elon Musk got all pissed off? He goes, I was decoding it. Well, first of all, I had decoded. I was living in Slidell and I had decoded it. And Jean went off running to someone. And then she went off running to someone on, like, that was either acting as my dad or posing as my dad or one of my dad's friends. And they, like, came on and they're like, what that? Like, they were pissed. And she basically went off and said, Christina, oh my God. Christina decoded something about muskrat love, and that's what she's calling you. And he got like all pissed off and stuff. And so it was someone like playing him or something, like they were like screwing with my brain. So anyway, then I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, I just decoded this and I know who you're making a reference to. You're making a reference to Elon Musk. I decoded the hell out of everything. And like I've been decoding for 10 years. So I'm like, I'd already had Elon Musk I knew it was Elon Musk. I just decoded pages after pages of it. She was talking about Elon Musk and she was calling him and her Jean. Jean, I'm sorry. People are talking through me right now. They're not talking through me. They're trying to laugh through me because they're finding humor in it, and I'm reporting crimes that they're committing. So they think that if they make me look like a bad guy by laughing through my voice at the ridiculousness of Jean committing these crimes and then painting me as some kind of monster, that nobody's going to listen to me anymore. No, it just makes people want to murder all of you, Jean Roberts. You think this is a joke, you're not getting away with it. So anyway, I handle things appropriately. I press charges against Jean Roberts. In person and online. I'm the informant. Jean is the perp. And you guys can continue supporting Jean Roberts all you want in her criminal con ring, or you can start turning her in. Again, that's the last sentence. I'm trying to sidetrack me. Again, I don't need to concern myself with all the people that Jean has conned, because Jean has conned a million different ways. I'm not concerned. I turn in the kingpin. That's the CIA's job to figure out who's naughty and nice. So anyway, so that was so Elon Musk was like, oh my God. So Jean was calling, I think Jean was calling herself and Elon Musk that, anyway, so then Fleetwood Mac sings that. Then also in that is Scud Missile. Then also in that is Scuttlebutt. And then also, she's also linking in, so I keep decoding this down. And then also another reference to her using Butthole Surfers. And then you're going to see my whole podcast on the Butthole Surfers. And then she's also making another reference to Sig Sig Sputnik. Sig Sig Sputnik is like a mod new wave band that was really popular in the 80s. So she's got that encoded. And then she uses Sigmund Freud. You know, Jean loves to play doctor, so this is no surprise. And like her pretending that I have schizophrenia and all her other con ass shit, and I call her Fraud Freud, which, you know, she did that on purpose. Well, that's what you fucking are. You're not even a doctor. You got a forged degree in English. She's got a forged professor, a doctorate degree in English. But anyway, so the important part here about the Sigmund Freud, okay, is Roy. So that goes to Pomeroy. And then also Rue is in that. Okay, and then Rue is also in Rumors, Fleetwood Mac. And then it's also in Hurricane. So another thing she did was, and I had forgotten about this, her whole like smoking and drug and alcohol theme that she does, and her Synanon and Charles Manson, and she wants to compare it to her ring of freaking buying and selling and abusing babies, kids, and adults, and just mesh it all together. And then she'll just run around being the savior of all children everywhere when she's the perp. So anyway, okay, so I just ignore her. She's a fucking goddamn dumbass. She's dumb and she's deadly. And she's a liar. And she's a terrorist. But anyway, I want to point out something else she did. So, remember when I told you she assaulted me at 2 months old with a pencil? Okay, get ready to get grossed out. So, take a look at a cigarette. She freaking did that too. The sleeve of a cigarette is white. And then the filter is brown. What do you see happening there? She freaking did that. She freaking did that. Also, I have a family member, my family member, I told you, the one that was an inventor, he invented flavored filters for cigarettes. So, you could tell how old this is she also committed the Jonestown Massacre, Drink the Kool-Aid. So you can see all that's linked into here. And then also another thing that she does with cigarettes, which this was how it was back in the day in the 70s. It was probably like her pre-planning of how she's going to like control and route my life and all the people that she hates, all her hate crimes and everything else. In calling me what I'm not. And then just all of her just psychotic dumbass abuse. So anyway, cigarettes are also called fags. So they call them that in England. So anyway, that is the end of this recording.